Greetings all, it's Blue Knight, and welcome back to Donkey Kong 64. Previously, we took out the obnoxious obstacle that was the DK arcade game. Nothing inherently wrong about it, it's just it's so obnoxious to play because we had to get a mandatory collectible from it, which we eventually acquired. Also, we turned in some blueprints to get some more bananas from Snide. And we got just a few more golden bananas all the while we were playing the DK arcade game. Today we're gonna make our way to Scoff and turn in the last of our not golden bananas, our regular bananas as we prepare to end our time in Frantic Factory. Before we do that, I never got to point out just how goofy the Crowbot looks when it's near a banana port pad like so. Because it'll just run in place to no end, which makes it very easy to kill off. We did see that a couple times before, but I just kept neglecting to point that out. That's not the important thing, though. The important thing is we gotta find a Scoff portal. And like I said, we'll go encounter the boss of this world. Actually, there's a very easy way to get there. Just go to the one pad, and there should be one right near the area. Just I thought it was close to this hallway where this Splat is. So this time, the amount of bananas we need to get to the next door, or next boss, is 200. Which, of course, we have more than enough to spare at this point. So eat up, Scoff. You gotta get your protein in, because breakfast is the most important meal of the day, or whenever you're having this. Pretty sure it ain't breakfast the time he is getting to eat these bananas. And we'll throw in Diddy's bananas too. I would have showed off Chunky and Tiny's banana throwing animations, but we haven't got all the bananas from them yet. And I was hoping we would get to it by now, but there's still a few lurking around the actual level that we haven't seen yet or haven't acquired. So we'll hold off on that probably until the next world. And the lucky Kong for today, oh, speaking of Tiny, is actually gonna be her. So we're skipping Lanky, going right to Tiny, which is pretty weird considering the tag barrel order in which you select your little roster. Maybe it's because that Tiny was meant to be the first Kong you would find in Angry Aztec. That's probably the reason why she was selected to be the Kong for the third level boss. But, like I said before, in my history, I always felt Tiny last when I was playing this as a very young lad. So this was pretty surprising to me when I found out that we had to play as Tiny for the third level boss. And this boss, like with the DK arcade game, has quite the reputation among the fan base for this game. All I have to do is step onto this platform that's glowing in the center. Meet the boss of Frantic Factory, Mad Jack. This guy will definitely be the hardest boss you will find at this point in the game, which is saying a lot considering, like I've said already, it's the third level boss. You'd think it wouldn't be as difficult as it is, but you'd be surprised if you weren't prepared to take on Mad Jack. So first phase is pretty simple. Go right to the same platform, while avoiding the fireballs like I didn't do. While avoiding fireballs, otherwise he'll knock you away from that platform. If you get knocked back down to the bottom, oh, that was really stupid on my part. Should've got to the other side. If you get knocked down to the bottom, you saw we have to start this entire cycle all over again. Thankfully, this is the opening phase of this fight. It's not gonna be too hard, at least for now. So it's on the white platform, we gotta go to that one. If you pick the switch with the wrong platform, oh, he shot me right to the other platform. That was pretty fortunate. Also not fortunate because I took damage. So if you found the wrong switch, then you'll take damage instead. And that effect will be disposed onto you, and it's not a really fun time, I'll say that. So now Jack is gonna move a little faster. If you can stay at least one platform ahead of Jack and be very fast with the tail twirl, then you should avoid Jack unless he, I guess, tricks you up and ooh, and lands on the platform that you're gonna be going to. Try to make sure I'm taking damage. Good. Unlike the other two bosses, Jack does not rely on the traditional 3-hit rule. You need to take him out after 5 hits. And after every time you do hit him, he gets a little faster. And this is where things will get a little more dangerous for Jack. It's gonna happen right after he stops. Just up until then, twirl your heart away and make sure you stay safe. Yeah, he is catching up now. You can go back and forth to try and fool Jack. That could also work as well. Now this time the platforms won't be lit, so it won't be as easy to find where Jack is actually standing. But they're not that far away from his position most of the time. Oh, you got me right as I was gonna grab pound it. I knew that was gonna happen too. I knew that would happen. It was gonna occur one of these cycles, and unfortunately happened right then and there. So if he's moving too fast, just go back and forth until you feel confident enough to go to another platform that's adjacent or diagonal from him. Just keep going there. Now the reason why I don't sound as frustrated when it comes to fighting Jack is because while the fight can be very annoying at times, I actually do like Jack for other reasons. We'll get to that once I pound out this switch, because now the fights will get a little more harder. But that's how fights often goes. Otherwise, it wouldn't be that much of a boss, now would it? Go across from there. So, difference was in a previous version of this fight, if you end up hitting the wrong switch, then the platform would damage you. Well, not damage you, I think would fall down in if you did end up hitting the wrong switch in a prior version to this fight, but they did fix that penalty later on. Alright, here comes the hard part. Now he's gonna be shooting out lasers. This is a little tougher to avoid. Ooh, I knew that was gonna happen. So wait until like the last possible second before he fires off a laser, and that way you can make your move. I think he's gonna be moving up. Yep, he's moving. I was a little too late on that. I was more concerned about not getting hit by the laser, because if you do get hit by it, then you're guaranteed to fall off the platform, no questions asked. I say that as I do end up falling off the arena. That can happen as well if you're not aware of your surroundings enough. Consider that you're trying not to get smushed by a jumping jack-in-the-box. Don't blame yourself too much if you do end up falling off the stage, because it will happen if you're getting a little panicked about this. Over there. So in the previous version, if you hit the wrong switch, other platforms of the incorrect switch would actually damage you if you stepped on them. That was the penalty I was thinking of earlier. Also, Jack would throw blocks at you instead of fireballs. That was another thing that was different in a previous version of this fight. Another tidbit about Mad Jack is that he may look like a mechanized duck. Well, in the previous guide, apparently he was mistitled as Quack in the box. It's pretty hilarious. It's also even more hilarious considering what Jack used to be like. It was in the beta version that it was pictured in a typical broken down Jack in the Box toy. So considering they went from that kind of design to what it ended up being in the final product is a very welcome change in my opinion. I really love this design of Mad Jack. Oh, got that in the nick of time. Now this should be the last hit. So we're on phase 5, and this time Jack goes so fast he turns invisible. Pay attention to the trail of sparks, and watch your position at all times. Again, use the crisscross, I guess, method if you feel like you can't outrun Jack, or out-twirl him in this case. But would it be out-hover? That'll probably be it. I also really love this music. It's so stressful and anxiety-inducing. It really fits the atmosphere of this fight so well. Back on a white platform again. Alright then. For this last hit, pay attention to the red dot, because that'll indicate when Jack's gonna shoot off a laser. So I'll wait for that. He should be good. Yep. And that's the fight. And there goes one of the more harder bosses of the game, but also one of the more fun ones. Mad Jack was the first hard boss I ever came across in this game, because the difficulty spike ramps up pretty quickly from Dogadon to Jack. Yet, even as a kid, I didn't mind how frustrating this fight could get, because I love the design of Jack, I love the music, it's one of my favorite tracks in this game. And I just really love Jack overall. It's like a Terminator mixed with a Jack-in-the-Box mixed with a platypus or a duck. That's how I see the design of Jack in general. It's just so appealing to look at and to listen to the music. The fight itself though could be a little easier. Yet that will not deter me from actually liking Jack, just because of his other points, not for the fight itself. So since we are done with the world, now that we have the key, we could technically just take the pause shortcut and leave, but we do have some bananas to collect for the sake of completionist sake. So we'll be getting to those right away, and then we'll wrap up the level for good. First off, we'll head back to the beginning, because there's a couple banana badges I know we can get over here with Tiny, and these fortunately are the last ones that she needed for this world. Now just for Chunky. I know where a couple of his banana balloons are. We just saw one just now. And I know where the other one is. It's near Snide. I think I may have got that one already, but I had to re-record a part of this level, so that might be the reason why I had to go collect it again. It won't be too big of a deal though. To continue talking about Jack a little bit more, he was in the beta version known as Junk in the Box. I already talked about that during the actual fight, and also how it used to be designed. It was also going to be in the position of the mini boss, hence why it was going to be in that mini boss room where we fought the toy monster a while back. Also, that explains why the existence of that room even well exists. And furthermore, if you think that Jack sounded a little familiar, well, the voice clips we were hearing during the fight were actually stock recorded noises that were voiced by Clarence Nash. If you don't know the name, don't worry about it, because the work he did is very well known, as he was the original Donald Duck voice. So if you thought that there was some similarity to why Jack sounded familiar to you, that's why. Oh, great. Oh, that's just great. One banana left. Why does it have to be one banana? In a level this big, I have to find that last little thing? Wonderful. Well, this is what we got ourselves into, or at least what I got myself into. You guys had nothing to do with this. This was my own fault. I thought for sure I got all the bananas by now with Chunky. Well, I guess we're gonna be in what I call a needle in a haystack situation. Having to find one little thing in a very big area. Yep, just I figured. It came to me after a while. Had to recollect this banana too. Well, it doesn't matter now because now we have everything we could get in Frantic Factory. So let's take one last look at this total screen and just take in our just rewards. Everything in Frantic Factory collected on the first go. We didn't have to leave this level for any reason to have to come back to it later. Backtracking be damned. So now that we have everything to collect in Frantic Factory, let's take care of a couple more things before we do go to Chunky and end the episode there. Oh, hello, Miss Banana Fairy and Mr. Kasplat too. Why the heck were you two in the same crate at the same time? Actually, on second thought, I don't want to know. Because, you know, a boy and a girl in the same place in a very enclosed space together, that can only lead to just one possibility, and I'm not gonna indulge on that any further. The point is, we got Tiny's blueprint, and now, why did I switch off to Chunky? Actually, I should switch off to DK. We don't need Chunky anymore for this area. And I didn't want to do the Bongo Blast. I've seen I developed a habit of thinking Z and Z up is the fairy camera controller, which is that's not what it is. We'll snap that picture and get that Banana Fairy. Yes, sparkle me with your deliciousness so I can be restocked and ready to continue on my adventure. Also, since we have the Gorilla Grab now, we can pull this lever. And make that platform operable. The reason why I want to do that is that we can go on the platform. And, hey, wouldn't you know it, there's a Boggle Blast music pad here too. So I guess this wasn't all for naught. I was just training myself unintentionally to get this thing to happen. Rack, I found another banana, DK Brock! Pretty sure that's what Squawks was saying. That went by so fast I really didn't pay much attention to it. But why would we? The fact is, we got another golden banana available to us because Squawks was, I guess, also a thief for the banana hoard as well. Apparently he's been holding out on us as well. That's just really dumb. I'm not sure we can consider Squawks a friend anymore. Might be a traitor now if you ask me. The worst thing is, that's not the only time that Squawks does that in the entire game. As a matter of fact, I think he does that at least once for every cog of this game. And most of that, if not all of that, might be in the overworld. Before we go meet Kalubzi again, there's one thing I forgot to collect. It was a very easy thing that I did miss out on. If you go to the island right next to Banana Fairy Isle, you can easily... No, not play the Bongo Blast in the middle of the island, DK. That's not gonna do anything. Unless you want to give this little person up in the air something to listen to. Or just take a shot of the great blue sky. I guess that works too. Whatever, DK. Apparently you got some really interesting hobbies. What I was trying to point out is that there's a Banana Fairy right next to Banana Fairy Isle. Why doesn't this thing just fly back to its home? I guess it's too lazy or too uptight to do that. It has to be carried back the fancy way. Well, now it's stuck with us forever whether it likes it or not. So that's a very easy collectible you can miss out on. I was intending that to be the first Banana Fairy we ever got in the game, but like I said, I forgot about it. I guess that really shows just how good of a collectible it is to miss out on. So now we're back here with Kalubzi. We could dish out the third key to it. And that's all I get for a celebration. There's a little thing that you have to keep in mind going forward with Kalubzi. If you recall, we unlocked 2 level entrances the last time we did make him go crazy and start dancing. Well, in order for Kalubzi to do that again for us, we have to beat both those levels and get both of the keys from their respective worlds to make him go all crazy and dance around once more. But we won't be going to that next world yet. There are a few things we can collect in the hub world right now, and I want to take care of those as soon as possible since we now have Chunky back on our roster. So next time, we're gonna take a small trip around DK Isle and other places if we need to visit them to see what we can find now that we have the entire crew back together. Until we meet again, farewell for now.